We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God.
We need Haiti more than Haiti needs us. We, middle-class North Americans, need Haiti more than Haiti needs us. The day after the earthquake in 2010, my wife, Nikki, myself, and our group of travelers were brought to the airport, the landing strip in Jacmel, Haiti, along with everyone else in the community, which had been made a makeshift refugee camp for all the people displaced from their homes that the UN had told not to go back for fear of structural instability. So you have this group of about 15 of us Blancs, white foreigners, sticking out like a sore thumb in the middle of a community of thousands of Haitians kind of just waiting, singing praises, praying together, crying out laments, going and coming to see if their friends or their families had survived the earthquake, oftentimes coming back and crying out to the skies because they got the bad news. And our friend Verbeau Jean-Julien, who deserves a sermon on his own, in addition to checking in on his family and his friends, checking in on the Tech Cole kids that in the organization that he founded to make sure they were all right. Thank God all of the Tech Cole kids actually did survive the earthquake. In the midst of all of that, he was able to scrounge together somewhere in town, I don't know where, some bread and some bananas and water. And he brought them to us. And this is life for us, because we haven't eaten in 36 hours, I think, at this point, and we're in the sweltering sun on the tarmac. But at the same time, it's this awkward situation because we're looking around us, and as if we didn't stick out enough like a sore thumb, now we're a group of Blancs with food and water. It was a snapshot of all the global inequalities that we hear about, but very rarely do we have to see firsthand. This woman starts to hobble up next to me, and she's got her eyes beginning to cloud over with cataracts, probably in her late 70s, not many teeth left. She's more than blasted apart the average life expectancy by a couple decades. She's wearing a piece of cloth, colorful, decorated cloth on her head, as many Haitian women do. And she walks up to me, and she holds out her hand, and she says, "Gongu, gongu," which means hungry, hungry. We have good reasons why when we travel with groups, we don't just hand out gifts willy-nilly. It causes all kinds of awkward power differentials and perpetuates ugly American stereotypes when you just throw gifts around in Haiti. But this was different circumstance, obviously. So I kind of furtively reach in our group's bag and I grab a loaf of bread and I give it to her. She says, "Thank you, merci." And she turns around and starts to hobble away. I see her break off about a third of the bread, and she hands it to a woman with a family sitting on a mat whose leg had been crushed under some rubble. And I see her walk over to this group of young children who are playing soccer with a pebble, and she breaks off a bigger piece and gives it to them. And then I see her take the rest of the bread and go over to an old man with a cane, and she gives the rest to him. I never got the name of that old woman, but I know who she was, right? Because you remember every single detail surrounding the moment where you see Jesus face to face, and he holds out his hand and says, "Grongu, grongu." Hungry, hungry. And when Jesus holds out his hand like that, he doesn't just express the hunger of his own belly, he expresses the hunger of his people, he expresses the hunger of his community, he expresses a hungering world.
Teach me the madness of Hosea. Teach me how to be a priest of suffering. Teach me how to have gambled your name for my gain. Teach me to dream of open skies, air clear as creek water for these ravaged lungs, fruit to flesh out these bones under my beaten skin.